to CS Live. My name's Jay Heyman,
And I'm Mike Collette.
and we'll be bringing you all the news, recaps, and highlights from competitive sports here at BYU-Idaho. Last week we had the Game of the Week hosted by the Women's Basketball League featuring the Bruins and the Knights. Now, Mike, we were both at this game, and it seemed to be that the story of the game were the Bruins' ability to rebound.
Absolutely. The Bruins were down by one at halftime, but then went on quite the run in the second half. According to Marcus Moser, the assistant coach for the Bruins, he said that they were playing their game, and that was hustle and playing hard and getting the rebound. The Knights also were at a disadvantage. Their two top scorers, also the top scorer in the league, Sidney Allen, were not available to play, both due out because of injury.
So a couple things coming into that game. Regardless, the Bruins come away with a big win. Bruins 63, Knights 46. The game also hosted the first annual Teddy Bear Toss, BYU-Idaho's first. They collected about 130 teddy bears, and it was quite a fun event. A lot of people enjoyed it, and we'll hope to see it again soon.
Absolutely.
In other women's basketball news, the Wildcats and the Hawks squared off. Wildcats winning it 67-66. Came down to a last-second buzzer beater. The coach, Craig Ryder of the Hawks, made a timeout with about a second and a half, before the game expired. However, Hawks not able to get in the final shot, and Wildcats come away with the win. The Freeze and the Spartans also had a game. The Freeze win it 74-63. Both teams now at 4-1 on the season, heading into playoffs. And we'll be back right after this message.
Tear down this wall.
Welcome back. We've got a few changes here at BYU-Idaho with the Competitive Sports League. Some sports will be offered at certain times, and Jay's going to give us some information on that.
Absolutely, Mike. Competitive Sports has decided to change some of its offerings to fit a more traditional schedule. So sports like football will be in the fall and basketball in the winter, track and field in the spring. Each sport will only be assigned to one semester a year. That way, the sports can be better scheduled, better prepared, and also the coaches and players of those sports will have more time to be prepared, and they'll hopefully up their game to the point where the sports quality will improve. And those are some of the reasons that competitive sports have made this change. Now, if you want to get ready for the sport, or if you aren't scheduled for that sport or that semester in which the sport you're hoping to play isn't available, the school is preparing to host some clinics so you can still participate.
Absolutely. And so these clinics, they're not just meant for the athletes or the people who play these sports. If you've never played these sports but you've always wanted to and want to play at the competitive atmosphere but be a part of this program, you can still join these clinics. You can do these things. And it can help you prepare for the tryouts and prepare for the sports, and you know, it's a great opportunity to make new friends. So let's go over some of these clinics. Here this month we have quite a few. Golf has a clinic on March 21st at 5 p.m. at the Municipal Golf Course. Lacrosse will be having a clinic on March 22nd, 10 a.m. at the Fourplex, field number 1. Softball will also be holding a clinic at the Fourplex, fields 3 and 4 on March 22nd, 1 p.m. And track and field will also hold a clinic on March 22nd at 2 p.m. over at the stadium. Ultimate Frisbee on March 29th will have a clinic at 10 a.m. at the upper fields, and tennis will also have a clinic on the 29th at 2 p.m. at the upper tennis courts. Moving right along to swimming, the Hawks and the Spartans faced off Friday night. The Hawks pull off the victory 133-91. The Hawks now have a record of 2-2. The Spartans remain winless at 0-4. The Knights and the Titans were scheduled to meet Saturday, but that meet was canceled and will be made up at a later date probably. And we'll be back right after this.
Welcome back. BYU-Idaho Competitive Sports has its own March Madness coming soon. It all starts this weekend with women's basketball. The Bruins face off against the Knights, and the Wildcats face off against the Hawks in the first round of the women's basketball playoffs. The Spartans and the Freeze have taken the top 2 seeds, so they get a first-round bye, and they will take on the winners of the first-round games. In men's basketball, the Knights face the Vikings, the Hurricanes square off against the Wildcats, the Aviators take on the Titans, and the Freeze play the Spartans for the first round. Each of those move on. The winners move on to further on into the playoffs. Both leagues are having a double elimination playoff, so it takes 2 losses to be out for good. In other men's basketball news, the Hurricanes took on the Vikings last weekend. Hurricanes come away with a big win, 101-78. The Knights faced off against the Wildcats. Knights take it 72-64 and improve to 6-1 on the season. The Aviators met with the Spartans. Aviators win big, 112-101. Aviators now also 6-1 on the season. The Freeze and the Titans played the last game of the night. Freeze take it 105-94.
That'll be it for us. If you have any questions or information, go to the BYU-Idaho activities page to see more about the sports and clinics that are being offered. I'm Mike Collette.
And I'm Jay Heyman.
Until next time.